OG Ron King, welcome to the podcast. OG, I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day to come through and talk to us, my man.
I'm glad to be here, player.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's jump right into it. Let me ask you this. Do you like or have you tried bourbon?
No, I don't drink beer. I drink beer only, Larry.
No bourbon. All right. No bourbon.
No,
All
no, no. I'll be crazy if I drank some of that stuff, man.
right. Already. Now, let's
Yeah.
jump into the basketball side of it. When did you realize, at a younger age when you were coming up, when did you realize you could be pretty good at basketball?
I was playing on 13, and I was playing 15 and under against John Harry, Booty, Stevie Lee, all them guys. And I held my own. So I said, I must be all right there. I play with the big boys, and I was giving them the business. I didn't know. I just played hard. I didn't know I was that good, but that's when
Right.
I realized I did have a little talent.
Right. Now, you played coming up through middle school, high school in the in the 60s, right
Right.
around the time of the Jim Crow era. What was that
Right.
like? I've always been curious, and I'm not even sure how I would have handled it, man, but I'm sure I would have had to adapt it. But how was that playing during that era when you had a handful of black schools? You can only go to certain schools, but you played against predominantly white schools or outside in the counties where, predominantly white
Right.
dominated
Well,
schools.
yeah.
And some of the hostility and just the environments, how was that coming up through high school?
Well, you know what, Larry, to tell you the truth, I really didn't think much of it because I went to all black schools. I went with Cy Stephen Foster Elementary. That was mixed, but I was too young to know anything about segregation. And then
Mm-hmm.
I went to Duval Junior High School. That was all black. So, I didn't have nothing to do with white folks, in general. And
Right.
at Central, I went to all black school. And the only time that we had, a little racism was when we would go to them county schools and when they would boo us and all that, and then we'd beat the hell out of them.
Right.
And, and so I really didn't think nothing of it. I really didn't until I got to Florida State. It's just when I really knew. But other than when I was here in Louisville in high school, it didn't ring no bell or anything. So I just played ball. All I wanted to do was play ball. I didn't have nothing else on my mind at that time.
Right. Now, when you went to Central High School, you were All-American. You were on one of the most dominant teams. You won a state championship. You won Mr. Basketball. You really swept the board when it came to the awards. And you scored 44 points in the state championship game with no three-point line. How many points you think you would have scored if you had a three-point line back then?
64. I'm not being biased, Larry, but probably, if we had 3 pointers, I probably wouldn't have shot nothing but three. Because I was an excellent shooter from way out. That's why I tell the kids these days. I said, Ryan King was Steph Curry before Steph Curry was. You know, Look, like, I used to play the games and I'd be like 25, 30 feet out, and wasn't nobody on me. The whole crowd would holler, lay up, and I hit all bottles.
They knew OG was cash money.
It was money. If you wasn't nowhere near me, it was money.
Right, right, right. So you graduated from Central in 1969 after being Mr. Basketball, after winning your state championship. You're deciding on what school you want to go to. Mind you, it's still part of that Jim Crow era. And you chose
Right.
to go to Florida State University, which is in the Deep South in Tallahassee. What
Yes,
went into
sir.
that decision making, and did you think about the environment or the atmosphere or the temperature of the times when you were making that decision?
Had no clue about, the segregation that was going on in Florida. But the reason I went because Otto Petty went. And me and him was a package deal. Like U of L recruited me hard.
Mm-hmm.
But they said Otto Petty couldn't play Division I ball. I said, y'all crazy. I said, the best little man in the world. He said, no, I don't want, I don't want to disencourage you, but Otto would not be able to play Division I ball. So Hugh Durham, which is from Louisville, he coached at Florida State. He knew that we was a package. He knew I wasn't going to Otto's. I went to Purdue and Michigan and everywhere, and everybody said the same thing. Otto was too little. But Hugh knew that we was a package. In fact, Otto signed a week before I did, but he knew I was coming. So we went. And like then again, when Reggie Roy was there and we had a report, they had a few blacks on the team at that time. You know, I didn't know what I was getting into. But when we went down there, it was real segregated. They still had, bathrooms black only and white only.
Right.
I said, what the hell? What's going on with this? You know, so we stayed in our place, more or less. But when we was on campus, we didn't have a black cheerleader down there at all. And we had about 8 guys on the team and about, 8 guys and 3 white boys. So we protested until we wasn't going to play unless we got a black cheerleader. So we ended up getting a black cheerleader. We didn't have a black student union. I went to Florida State. We only had 600 blacks. It was 20,000 students. And we did a lot for that school. People don't know that. We got a black student. They didn't have no fraternity or sorority for blacks because they didn't have that many. We had to go to FAMU. We had to go to FAMU, if you wanted to join us a fraternity. And some of my brothers did. I didn't. But we did. We actually did a whole. Them guys don't know what we did for the blacks at Florida State. Like I said, it was segregation. They thought, we weren't even supposed to be there. And we changed a lot, and I'm so proud of that. I really am.
Nice. I learned something myself. I didn't know that either, man. Definitely kudos for that. Now, if you didn't go to Florida State,
yes,
if Florida State, if you and Otto didn't go to Florida State, what do you think you guys would have went to?
Well, I lost you.
I said, if you and Otto didn't go to Florida State, where do you think you guys would have went to?
I don't know. Didn't nobody want Otto in Division I. It would have been. That's a good question because everybody said he was too small. Even at Kentucky, Kentucky wanted to get me, and I'm so mad about this. Kentucky, Adolph Rupp came to my house and tried to get me to sign the same day. So I took a visit to Kentucky, and Wilbur Hackett and Oliver Curl was on the football team, so they took me out. And I got a picture of myself. I'm in a mansion somewhere, I don't know, me and my mother, Dickie Parsons, Joe Hall, what's his name, Scott, the black guy down there was a mayor, assistant mayor. It was a whole bunch of influential people at lectures that would try to get me to come. But I wasn't going without Otto, and I sure wasn't going to be the first one to go. And the thing about that, when we played Kentucky in '72 in the Kentucky Regional Finals, Larry, the reporters asked Rupp, how come you didn't try to recruit King? He said, oh, I don't think I could have used him. And that kind of made me mad. Because I didn't go, he could say, well, we tried, he didn't fit. He like he didn't even try to recruit me.
Right.
So anyway, we busted him about 19 points, and I got 22 on him. And I said,
nice.
I visited campus, but if he said he didn't try to recruit, he didn't. But I got the last. I beat him his last game ever. Adolph Rupp. I'm so proud of that. But
right.
the question was, if me and I don't go to Florida State, I don't know where we would have went, Larry, because Louisville said he was too little, and I wasn't going without him. So I really don't know.
Right. But you went on to Florida State. You were known as a prolific scorer. You won the best scores to come through the university ever. Mm-hmm. You still have the record for most points in a game, 46 points with no three-point line. May I add you? 1988, you had your jersey retired up there. But in 1972, you led them to the national championship game, their first Final Four and their first national championship game. And you guys played against Bill Walton and UCLA. Take me through that experience and talk about that game and how you did, because you led all scorers with 27 points, 6 rebounds. I actually watched some of the highlights, and guess what? If you had any daylight, it was going up. Man's hand down, it was going up. Hey, you were smooth out there, OG. Talk to me about that game and just that experience.
Well, it wasn't nothing like it for one, because to get there, we beat Eastern Kentucky. That was our closest game before we got there. We beat Minnesota. Dave Winfield, Jim Brewer. We beat them. We beat Kentucky, which was we was underdogs all the way anyway, except for the Eastern Kentucky game.
Right.
And North Carolina, we beat them in the semifinal. They had Bob McAdoo, Bob Jones, George Carr. We busted them up. So we come to UCLA. We get there, and all the papers are saying UCLA is going to beat us for anywhere from 16 to 33 points. And I'm looking at all the guys, who the hell they think they are? They pass on just like we do, you know.
Right.
So, I mean, we going with this attitude like that, think we some chumps or something. So we get in the game and we rolling. I'm killing them. I'm on fire, man. Bibby tried to disrupt us. You know, we had a little one pregame. We do the little round circle. We pass the ball like a globetrotter. He came in and got in with us. I guess he was trying to intimidate us.
Henry Bibby. You speaking about Henry Bibby?
Yeah, Henry Bibby. Yeah, he coming there. You know, I guess he was being friendly. I don't know what it was, but it didn't work. Whatever it was. So we got to playing. And I'm killing them, man. I'm on fire there. I'm hitting from anywhere and everywhere. And then we was up at halftime. You know, John Wooden never. That's what Denny Crum got that from. He never called time out the first half, right?
Right.
He let TB, but we was whooping on that ass. But I shouldn't say that. And
you can say whatever you want, man. It's uncensored, baby. We speak how we feel on here.
Yeah. So he called time out, right? John Wood. So we over in the huddle, and Durham is so nervous, man, because we doing him. He's nervous, and Tree said, "Coach, what we gonna do?" He said, King, you step out, and the bell done run. You know, we gotta go back out. He ain't told us nothing. But anyway, I was on fire, Larry. I got 27 points. And the thing about that, they beat us by 5, the closest anybody ever been to them. But I only played 30 minutes. I sat on the bench for 10 minutes. I ain't have but one foul. And I don't know, my wife said Hugh got paid. But Larry, if I had played that whole game, I would have got 40 or more. We would have beat them. If I had played the whole game, we would have beat them. There's no question in my mind. It would have been the second biggest upset ever, you know, besides Texas Western beating Kentucky. Florida State beating UCLA would have been so big, and we would have did it. And I don't know why, you know, Coach did that. And we had our 20th anniversary in 1992, and everybody always asked me why he take me out and leave me. I said, I don't know. So I asked Coach Durham. He said, King, we had a banquet. King been asking me all weekend, all day, every time I see him, how come I took him out? Everybody's asking him. And then he said, King, he said, next time somebody asks you why I took you out, left you out for 10 minutes, you just tell them that you had a dumbass coach. That was his way out, Larry, but I have no idea. But I know we'd have beat it. But it wasn't like, I mean, it was an honor. You know, I didn't feel no pressure. You know, I'm a ball player. UCLA didn't recruit. You know, and my attitude when I went in there, I'm the best thing y'all ever seen.
Right.
You know, y'all ain't seen nobody like me. And so I had the advantage on them. They didn't know what I was about. You know, everybody know about UCLA, but they didn't know nothing about us. And we was getting out on them. Like I said, it didn't end like it was supposed to, and it wasn't my fault. It was coach's fault. But that was you know, I loved it. You know, being on the big stage, I always loved it. You know, I never had no fear of playing in front of the crowd. You know, the bigger the game was, the better I got. And to this day, it's always been like that.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, man. The last game of the year, he's supposed to let you go to the wheels fall off.
You know, you got TV timeouts, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was, Larry, but it's no way that I was supposed to come out of that game.
Right. Now, after you left Florida State, you got drafted in the ABA and you got drafted in the NBA.
Right.
You got drafted by the NBA team, the Golden State Warriors, and you got drafted in the ABA. I believe it was the Kentucky Colonels, I believe.
Right.
And so what was it about that time that guys chose to go and play in the ABA rather than the NBA? What was more popular about that than the NBA?
The money was better in the ABA. That's why Dr. Wynn and Gervin and all them, they was paying more at that time. Even though the league wasn't as great, at the NBA. It wasn't established. I ain't gonna say great. It wasn't established because we was just getting started. They only started in '67, but they paid more money than the NBA did. But my thing was, I just wanted to come home to make a difference, and that was my biggest fault. I should have went to the Golden State where I didn't know nobody. You come home, you went to U of L, you got your friends still here, and
Everybody pulling
where,
each direction.
you know where to go. I didn't need them to tell me nothing. That was my only big mistake. I wish I had went to Golden State. That's the only fault in my career that I wish I had changed.
Nice. Now, you played a few years, but
Yeah.
you didn't have an extended career.
Right.
What made you cut it short rather than just playing it out, for as long as you can? Did you just want to get on to something else and do another career?
No, at that time I was overseas, Larry. I was in Tel Aviv first time, and I just could. I didn't like the food. I didn't have nowhere to go. I went to the American Embassy almost every day. I just couldn't. And me, being by myself, I just couldn't deal with it. So it didn't work out for me. That's another thing I could have, stayed in and grounded out, but I just didn't like it.
Right.
So
Right.
I came on back home.
After you retired, you came home and you wanted to become a mentor and a coach to young people. Talk about what that means to you to come home and just to be able to mentor and coach young people and help them come up the right path.
Well, it's nothing like it, for one thing, because our kids, they need some guidance out here, especially right now. They're crazy as we are right now. But back then, Larry, I always liked kids, and I always wanted to give back. So I had the experience where I could tell them, kids gonna do what they want to do, but they used to try to do stuff to me, and I'll be on the other end waiting on, like, they go out one door, I put them out one door, they come around, and I'm like, wait, Mr. King, how'd you know it? I said, I was young once like you guys. There's nothing y'all did or do that I haven't done. So you can't pull the wool over my ass. I know when you're lying. I know when you're not doing something.
Right.
So I was just trying to give back to them. And a lot of kids today, that's grown. I saw one yesterday. And he said, you don't remember me, do you, Mr. King? I was in California and I was 10 years old and you had me to play. And man, just so good seeing you. You taught me a lot. That's the biggest thing I like about it. When they come back and tell you, Mr. King, one for your help, I wouldn't be who I was today. So that's a good thing.
Now, they say you still a sharpshooter. Now, they say you got almost an 85% win percentage in shootouts at the gymnasium. Now, what's the record? What's your record now versus the people coming in trying to outshoot Ron King?
It's very true, Larry. I tell them all the time now. And the thing about it, so here's what we do. We play around the world and we go around and come back. No chances, though.
Right.
And I played 3 out of 5, because I don't play as much when, even when I was at the gym in the later years, I didn't play. So they might win one, but I always win the series. So after I beat them again, they said, well, come on, Mr. King, let's try it again. I said, nah, for what? I said, I got my rhythm. I got my rhythm now. He said, you might not even get a shot. So I go all the way around and come back, Larry. And they would, I told them it cost them a couple of dollars. And they would try me, and I would take their money every time. Even ask Lonzo Evans, Wesley Cox, all them try. Wesley beat me though. He beat me 4 out of 7, but it was 3-3, and he beat me.
Yeah.
So I told him, I told a bunch of young boys, hey, Mr. King, I didn't know you can shoot like that. Yeah, I can still shoot it. That's like riding a bicycle.
Fingertips don't leave you, do they?
No, sir. And the thing about it, Larry, after I beat him, they said, well, let's play one-on-one then. I said, no.
That's when you know you got him right there.
Yeah, I said I could outshoot you. Ain't no one-on-one.
Right. Well, Mr. King, man, that's the part of the podcast that we like to call the Burrow Proof. We're going to shoot you some rapid-fire questions. Don't give it a lot of thought. Give us your first answer. We're going to roll with it.
All right.
Who was the toughest person you ever had to defend?
Harold Fox, Jacksonville University.
Okay. What was more important in the 70s, the afro or the bell bottoms and big collar?
Oh, the afro. I had the prettiest one ever.
Who you taking? Earth, Wind, and Fire or the OJs?
I'm old school. I like OJs. You know, they do that melody. Earth was kind of upbeat, so I like the OJs.
Okay, okay. Who's the best shooter to date right now? Take yourself out the picture.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. All right. Better than his partner Klay Thompson or Ray Allen.
Yeah, I think Steph. Yeah, right now. I mean, far as you know, distance. You know, Steph is more clutch. I mean, close Ray now. Ray wasn't really a deep threat. He was a shooter though, and Clay's the same way. But as far as, you know, 30 feet and in, I'm gonna take Steph.
Yeah, I think Steph's the best shooter I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Chicken wings, bone in or bone out?
Bone out.
Boneless wings?
Yes, sir. I love it, man. I ain't got to worry about no bone. I just eat it all up. See, see, thing about it, I like that kill. My buddy told me about that. You ever had that kill?
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't nothing but meat, baby.
Right. You taking Good Times or Sanford and Son?
Sanford and Son, without a doubt.
Okay. It's a question we call franchise, sign, or wave. You got to franchise a guy that you're going to build your team around. You got to sign a guy that you're going to keep on your team. And you got to waive a guy that you just can't keep. So I'm going to give you 3 guys, but you can only keep 2. You got to build your team around 1.
Okay.
So you got Dr. J, Julius Erving. You got George Iceman Gervin. And you got Connie Hawkins. Who you franchising, who you signing, who you waiving?
Ooh, boy, that's some good ones, that dog. Lord. Ooh. I'm gonna franchise the doctor, and I'm gonna keep Gervin because Connie was way, you know, before both of them, and he set the tone, but he didn't play long because of, you know, some of the troubles he got into. So I'm gonna go with them 2 and leave Connie. I hate to do it, but that's the way I would go.
Okay. One celebrity that you would invite to sit in courtside to watch you play in your day.
One celebrity. Man. It's from anytime.
From any time.
Okay. I'm about to take my boy Denzel to come and watch me.
You pick Denzel to come and watch you sit courtside?
Yes,
sir. Yeah. I can dig that. Last question. One thing you learned from the game of basketball over the years.
Never give up. Never. And that's what I did at the end. I gave up. Never give up. If you have the passion for it, you got to put the work in and just keep striving. Never give up.
OG King, I appreciate your time, brother. Come through the podcast, bless us with your presence. And anybody that don't know Ron King, what you tell them, you better go home and Google Ron King.
Yeah, go Google Ron King.
Man, appreciate you coming on and talking to us, man.
All right, man, I appreciate it. Because these young bucks don't know about Ron King. They on Facebook all the time talking about who's who. And I just laugh. But that's that. Go Google Ron King.
Yeah, you better do
Thanks, Larry.
you better do some history. All right, talk to you later, OG.
You, baby. And tell Pops I said, hey.
I will do. Talk to you later.
All right, babe.
Peace.